Hello and welcome to Social Media Weekly, episode 12 January 2022. Social Media Weekly is brought to you by Virtual Palace Marketing. Get your very own corporate website built from as low as $100 with Virtual Palace Marketing today. Terms and conditions apply. The platform is super easy to maintain and comes with a state-of-the-art security. Drop us an email at admin, that is ADMIN, at virtualpeddlers.com for a free discovery session. My name is Sean.
And I am Jepar. Giving my full name out already, like giving like hints by hints, like first, just the first part, and then like later bit by bit, people get to know my full name probably by the end of the year.
So the beginning is J with just the alphabet.
Just
the next
J.
is J as in J-A-Y.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And now is
Jpal. Okay, don't tell them the next one. Later
okay.
on, we give them teasers a bit by bit. Like
okay.
It starts with an S. So like,
if you want to know, if you want to know Jay's full name, keep listening or watching us, watching our videos until the end of the year.
Don't skip out. Don't skip out. You're gonna miss. You're gonna be missing. You're gonna be missing
the ultimate reveal. Okay, let's start with the news this week. Twitter tests abilities to respond to tweets with videos. In this feature sounds, if it sounds a little familiar, that's because it's a ripoff of TikTok's familiar ability to reply to comments with a video. When users respond to tweets, they are also able to pin the original tweet as a sticker on the side of that video. So you remember Twitter, we talked about TikTok having this very, very amazing way of responding to TikToks, kind of like comments. Like you don't respond by typing, you respond by actually recording a video and you pin their comment at the side of it. Mm-hmm. So Twitter brought this same feature to its platform. It is a ripoff, but that joke and everything aside, I think this feature really, really helps a lot create more depth to the platform's discussions, because Twitter has been working hard to evolve away from the word-only social platform. With all that high resolution images that is good for, what is that for? That is good for photographers, mm-hmm. And all kinds of videos and everything like that. And I think this might just seal the deal, because to be able to reply to a comment with a video is an amazing way to create engagement. Don't you think?
I feel it's an absolutely good approach to this, because that if you think about it, right, Twitter, if you get to reply to videos, I mean, like there's a lot of other journalists out there as well, because for me on Twitter, I especially follow the journalists. So when I see these journalists that they actually talked about what's happening, and then even from the video itself, they can start replying to comments or actually prompting any sort of question. It somewhat gives a visibility to like people to react to it even more. So it not just engagement wise, you're looking for content reach as well, which is actually phenomenal if they bring this over. Actually, they already brought it over, but like I'm just looking forward to see how is it going to function essentially. Whether, I mean, like hopefully there's no bugs or anything. Instagram's speaking about you again. But yeah, really looking forward for this as well.
For Instagram.
Actually, for you, like for instance, how would you use this? Like for me, it's just that I reply to videos, like especially these journalist videos. But what about you?
I think it's nice because instead of typing my explanation out, let's say I'm talking about a very very deep discussion on maybe Web3 or maybe I just watched this video about this thing called INFTs, mm-hmm. where you know how NFTs are actually still images.
Correct.
That they sell out. INFTs are intelligent NFTs where they actually add a layer of AI into your NFT. So imagine an image that has a Siri behind that actually learns what you do and becomes your friend. So it's a bit of a spin-off lah, but it's a bit of a sad way of making friends lah, right? But so if you talk about something as deep as that, and someone asks a question, and instead of typing it out, I can actually explain it out in a video.
Correct. I mean, like even let's just sometimes let's just admit that with words sometimes we tend to forget about, like a lot of people tend to get offended and stuff like that. But it's just that we are not so sure what's the tonality like. So with videos, you get to express a little bit more, and
yes, exactly.
It's more captivating as well.
It will reduce miscommunications and it will prevent a lot of wars.
Correct. I completely agree with you on that. Mm-hmm. All right, with that, the next news: Instagram rolling out profile status. Profile status is essentially a user ability to set a status on your profile, telling others what they are doing at the moment. Screenshots by social media today suggest they could include working, celebrating, busy, and happy. We expect more to be added soon. We also expect Instagram to completely port the similar feature from their recent discontinued app, Threads. In Threads, profile statuses can be automatically set depending on what Instagram thought they were you were doing at the moment. These range from driving, shopping, at home, and at work, and more. So I mean, if they bring this over, I tend to use Instagram sometimes while in the toilet, taking dumb looking images and stuff like that. Just imagine like you get your profile status like in the toilet taking it up.
Yeah.
It's a bit. I'm a bit scared of that. Like I don't want people to know I'm poo-pooing. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, when I was reading this article, the first thing I thought was the time when you asked if threats know when you are pooping in the toilet. So right now the first layer is that we have to manually set the profile status. Like we have to tell people that we are doing something, right? But if Instagram is bringing the same technology from Threads into Instagram, then we would quite clearly can see that Instagram will eventually allow automatic status update. So if you're in a shopping mall, they will say that you're shopping. When you are traveling at 60 kilometers an hour, then you'll say you're in a car or you're commuting. When you are in a call with someone, then you say you're busy or in a call. So the updates will happen automatically, provided you allow it to happen automatically. To me, this feels a bit of a novelty. I think kids in the 90s would remember this because it was in ICQs and MSNs, 90s and early 2000s remember this. I don't think it's relevant anymore. I think it's not a make or break thing for Instagram, to be honest.
Yep.
It's like if someone doesn't like Instagram, don't use Instagram. This feature will not make them like Instagram and suddenly move to Instagram.
It feels something basic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I don't see. I think after removing threads as well, seeing that whole status thing, I don't think so. It's do social media platforms need that? Like I don't think so, lah.
Well, they used to do that back then. Long time ago, they used to do that. It's mostly for the chat side rather than the social media side. I think Friendster never had that. I don't think MySpace had that. So it's all the chat ones, the ICQs, the MSN messengers, and these kinds of platforms. And nope, not important. Anywho, moving to the next one, LinkedIn launches its own Clubhouse clone. Nothing much to report here, actually, except that it is expected from LinkedIn and from everybody on social media to launch its own Clubhouse clone. That said, we think LinkedIn is perfectly poised to benefit from a Clubhouse clone because being a social platform for professionals. So the company foresees wide adoption for live events, conferences, and panel discussions that can be attended by a huge number of employees. On top of that, LinkedIn will also add video layers to better improve event experience. Okay, it is a clone, but I love it because it's in LinkedIn. When Clubhouse first came about, it was used by a lot of professionals, a lot of CEOs, a lot of startup founders to talk about a lot of very important topics. And over the months, maybe over a course of a year, I think I gonna use Clubhouse for a year already. When I signed up, it was January last year. So now when I go into Clubhouse, there's a lot more casual conversation going on. Less business stuff, more lifestyle stuff, less business stuff. So I think if LinkedIn builds this well, all these business people and all these CEOs and founders and everything will eventually move to LinkedIn, LinkedIn's Clubhouse ripoff.
I mean, like for me, at one point of time, I low-key kind of predicted that LinkedIn was bound to do this instead of Twitter because, I mean, I don't know why I felt like it was because Clubhouse at one point of time when the reason why I moved into Clubhouse or even tried to explore Clubhouse was because of people said that you learn a lot of things, you meet a lot of different people, especially professional people and also like business centric people. So it was very focused on to that. But eventually, as more and more users came, it came about more like a generic social platform, like how
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is. And LinkedIn adopting this essentially, I feel it's a very good approach. And I think it makes people want to join LinkedIn more. Like for me, if let's just say there's more talks on LinkedIn, I don't see the use of Clubhouse in my perspective.
Yeah.
Uh,
So now I think you hit a very important point here, because I think even though all the social media platforms have their own Clubhouse ripoff, it doesn't mean that they're competing for the same group of people,
Correct.
right? So Twitter Spaces is used a lot for people who are trading NFTs, are looking for NFT talks and everything like that, right? Crypto and stuff.
Yep.
And Clubhouse is now becoming a more of a casual place for people to hang out.
Correct.
And Spotify Green Room still has a lot of mixture, but they do have a lot more sports talk compared to others as well. I think primarily because Spotify's Green Room they bought over this other company called,
Yep.
I forgot what's the name, Locker Room or something like that, that talks about sports stuff. So they ported a lot of users that talk about sports stuff over to Spotify as well. So now LinkedIn can specialize in professionals.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, like every one of them, they have their own niche. And especially for LinkedIn, like LinkedIn has always been like bomb, and them adopting this, I'm actually really looking forward for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm especially the talks,
Remember,
what sorts of talks they're going to give.
Remember we talked about, I think earlier this year, that TED actually is planning to work with Clubhouse to bring more content into Clubhouse. I think once the contract expires, whatever contract or MOU they have with Clubhouse, I think TED should actually go to LinkedIn instead.
Yep, I very much agree with you as well. I think they will benefit way much more from that. All right, next. TikTok testing new sharing options to view clips and follow profiles. The single biggest problem with TikTok, as well as we all can see, is that creators download and share their videos on other social media platforms. Although the branding helps inform viewers of the creator's account, there's still many who end up not following them on TikTok. So TikTok came out with a feature that allows creators to invite people from other apps to view their videos and also follow their profiles on TikTok. This benefits both TikTok and its creators by getting others to view the video and hopefully also explore other TikTok videos afterwards. And since we know how addictive TikToks for their For You page this is the perfect trap. I mean, for me, all of this, because for me, when I read about this article, the first thing that came up to my head was, everybody just wants, like for instance, we as viewers, we want people to actually stick in our platform as long as possible. So I guess this is what TikTok realized, that people are not sticking in their platform, especially for new users, because people don't really even download TikTok. But when you download it, you just get stuck into it,
Yeah.
So I guess with this, somewhat force people to actually just like download TikTok essentially.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about this?
I think the biggest problem with that TikTok's been facing the whole time is that people can download TikToks, TikTok videos, let's call them talks.
Talks.
Yeah. Good new slang. Maybe it'll come up in the Oxford Dictionary. I don't know. So TikTokers will download talks and then share them on Facebook and Instagram and all that. Yes, the watermark is there, and they made an effort to actually bounce them around so that the stickers, won't hold and all that. But people are still consuming talks outside of TikTok.
Right.
And that is a problem for TikTok, right? And now what they're trying to do is, instead of letting people just share them, they allow creators to actually create a link. It's like, hey, I just created a new video and I want you to have a look at it, and you're not on TikTok. So I will just share the link to you, and it will give you a little bit of a preview. And to watch the whole thing, you have to press the button, launch TikTok, go in and watch the whole thing. And TikTok hopes that after you're done with it, it will bounce you to the next video and the next and the next and the next and the next.
Like these guys all really, I love I absolutely love how TikTok upgrades their platforms bit by bit, and they actually see the minor problems whereby they can fix it, and eventually it'll be a greater help to them, and greater help to them. Because for me, always I think about like bounce rate. You don't want people to leave out their platform. You want people to stay there longer.
Yes.
So props to you, TikTok. I mean, like at least you acknowledge that, like, because at one point of time, I mean, like in the beginning stage, it was completely understandable. You just wanted people to know about your platform, and right now you already know you're considered one of the biggest. Now you just need people to stick onto your platform and get more users, and they
Yes,
address the
exactly.
issues immediately.
Speaking of which, I have a confession to make. I'm afraid of launching the TikTok app because once I launch it, I would
Stuck.
very easily lose 45 minutes to an hour. It's crazy. It really is crazy. So I'm so afraid of launching TikTok now because its ability to keep you in there is so immense. I don't understand how the algorithm works. It's crazy.
It's mad till the extent they know what you're thinking, at times. It's a bit scary.
They know exactly what you want to see and what you want to hear. It's crazy.
Like
And
it's just something it's afraid. Like I do not know how they do this. Are they hearing our voices? I mean, I don't know. Is the Illuminati involved in TikTok? I don't know. I'm just simply giving out conspiracy theories, but it's mad. They know what you want.
So speaking of conspiracy, right? Actually, TikTok has this type of videos. There's this like I guess a type of concept of videos where they don't use hashtags. Totally no hashtags, totally no titles, nothing. So there is no way for TikTok to use captions and words to link you to link their video to people who are interested in watching that type of video.
Mhm.
So and then these videos always these videos always start with audio words like this video has no caption, this video has no hashtag. If it reaches you, it's reaching you for a reason. I'm like, that's exactly what I want to hear, because after that they will say something and I'm like, how is this reaching me? TikTok, explain to me, what is this magic?
Why? I did not expect this. No, but the thing is, I see that's the thing. I absolutely love the TikTok app, but the only issue is that we get hooked onto it.
Yes.
That's one thing I like how the China version of TikTok's app, Daoyan has created. I was checking out a podcast that they talked about how the algorithm is. That depending on your age and depending on they choose the content that you want to view. Like for an instance, like especially for kids, they give you science experiments and stuff like that. And then after a certain amount of videos, they have this buffer period whereby they actually remind you like, hey, don't you want to go do something outside? That's what I think TikTok should actually bring in as well. Because I mean, but that is one case whereby their bounce rate will increase back again because people will just leave the app and just not stick onto it. So that's that pros and cons.
This one they can do because in China the government lays down the law and said, you either do this or you get out of my country. So
correct.
but for the rest of the world, it's a little bit of like, it's a bit different. We're a little bit more lenient when it comes to these things. And I agree with you. I think that this thing should be applied everywhere. And I also believe that TikTok as a business will only apply this function and limitation to countries that demand for it. If people don't demand for it, they don't really care. Because, like you said, right, it increases the bounce rate and then it reduces the time spent on the platform, which is not good for ads, not good for profits, all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think with that, Social Media Weekly podcast is available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and we post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, your turn, John. Your turn.
Okay. My late night radio voice. If you like Social Media Weekly, it would really help if you could rate and review it on a podcast feed of your choice and on YouTube so more can discover it. Social Media Weekly is on lookout for regular co-hosts to help us bring some depth to the show. If you're interested, simply drop me an email at Shawn, that is SHAWN, at virtualpeddlers.com. This is Social Media Weekly, episode 12 January 2022. I can use that as like a what is that called?
Ringtone.
No, not a ringtone. Hell no. I can use that as like a resume to apply for a job in a radio station somewhere.
Actually, you know what? You never know. We can start practicing and like probably use this kind of clips. Like just try and see. I don't know. One day, like, hey, you want to try? Yeah, we would like to have your podcast onto our radio show. Like, oh,
Boom.
I mean, like, hey, radio stations. Are you? If you guys listening to this, like, holla, homie, you know.
Yeah. We will do it for free. Not for free, but we'll do it for coffee and breakfast.
I mean, you feed me, I happy, I okay. You know, I happy already. Can.
Just don't wake us up too early for the early morning stuff, can already. We can do like somewhere 11, 12 o'clock, all fine, we're good.
Can lah, but if you want us to like come like early in the morning, let us know a few days ahead so we will pre-prepare. So we won't sleep the whole night. Like when it comes, then still come to the show, you know. Then only after that we go and sleep.
All right. Anyway, this is Social Media Weekly, episode 12, January 2022. My name is Sean.
And I'm Jay, and I bid you an adieu.
We'll catch you next week. See ya.
Oh boy.